We have a state sovereignty czar. It's called a governor. Oh, whoops. Then it's called the state legislature. Oh, whoops. Then it's called a county commissioner, and it's called a sheriff, and it's called a city council, and anybody else that will actually keep their word and stand for freedom in your county and city. That's who it is. That's who your state sovereignty czar is. They must defend state sovereignty. Who's going to enforce the 10th Amendment? Who's going to enforce states' rights? Whose responsibility is it to stand for liberty? Oh, not mine, just the courts. The courts. So the only way that we have in America to defend and preserve liberty is to tell our citizens to go to court. What if they can't? What if they can't afford it? Oh well, there goes that freedom. That is not how the American system was intended to preserve liberty. Give me a break. It's ridiculous. Every public official who has sworn the oath has the responsibility to uphold, defend, protect, preserve the U.S. Constitution, and thereby be standing, holding liberty above their heads, proclaiming to the world, this is a free county, and we will enforce the Bill of Rights in this county. I look for the day in America where every major thoroughfare into each county says, the Bill of Rights will be enforced strictly in this county by order of the sheriff. Now we're getting into some serious stuff, and this is why you want one of these booklets. Or you can look up the case on the internet. You can pull it off our website also. Remember, the website is cspoa.org. You can also get it at sheriffmack.com. But I want all of you to remember and memorize that website. It's part of the place where we're going to solve this problem. We have a few solutions left that are still peaceful. That's what we focus on at the cspoa.org. Okay? The residual state sovereignty was also implicit, of course, in the Constitution's conferral upon Congress of not all governmental powers. Then what kind of powers do they have? Wow! Only discrete, enumerated ones. The Constitution was actually devised to do what to Congress? Keep them impotent. They have no real power. It's enumerated and it's discrete. And then this whole thing is rendered express. Look at it yourself. I didn't make any of this up. It's all rendered express by what? The 10th Amendment. Folks, the only way that Congress or the federal government remain impotent and bound by the Constitution and within their discrete enumerated powers is if somebody somewhere enforces the 10th Amendment. He says it. The Supreme Court says it. I'm not saying this. I totally agree. And this was a case that I took there, but I had no idea they would go this far. Congress only has discrete enumerated powers, which is rendered express or made absolute by the assertion of the 10th Amendment. That all powers not delegated to them. Delegated. And who delegated it? We did. The original 13 states and we the people. That all other powers are reserved to us, to the states and to the people. And if we enforce that, we preserve liberty. And if we have local officials doing it, this battle and movement and revolution, whatever you want to call it, this battle for freedom today remains peaceful. More importantly, it remains effective. And it will be. But we've got to have this defense here erected in every county, especially the rural counties of California. We can still do it. You can forget LA, forget San Francisco. You can still do it in your county. We can and we must. Okay? He goes on. The great innovation of this design was that our citizens would have two political capacities, one state and one federal. What? If you've got a question, we're probably only going to do 5, so you better make it a good one. So we want to pass those in. Okay, are you getting them already? The beautiful beautiful card gathering lady over there. We've got another one right here. Okay? All right. Okay, keep doing that. We've got about another 7 minutes. The great innovation of this design was that our citizens would have 2 political capacities, one state and one federal, each protected from incursion by the other. I made this up, so I'm a kook. First of all, I didn't make it up, but man, that's beautiful, isn't it? Who protects you from federal incursions? All state and local officials. Okay? There it is. One state, one federal, each protected from incursion by the other. Okay? And yes, your county is a political subdivision of the state. Now get this. Scalia hits a home run on this one too. This separation of the 2 spheres. What 2 spheres is he talking about? Federal and state. The federal sphere is about this big and the state sphere is that big. Is one of the Constitution's structural protections of liberty. Fran, we don't need to ask these questions. Why don't we just go home now? We're not talking about anything important, are we? Just these little structural protections of liberty. It's a structural, constitutional protection of liberty. What? State sovereignty. And that we have somebody enforcing it here. Look what he says now. He compares it to the 3 divisions of authority with the 3 separate branches of government. Just as the separation and independence of the coordinate branches of the federal government serve to prevent the accumulation of excessive power in any one branch, here comes the solution. Scalia reinforces everything we've been talking about tonight. Scalia says it. A healthy balance of power between the states and the federal government will reduce the risk of tyranny and abuse from either one. When you came to this meeting tonight, did you want to know how to reduce tyranny and abuse? Yeah. There it is. A healthy balance of power between the states and the federal government. Let me ask you a question. Do we have that power? Do we have that balance of power today? No. Then the solution is, we've got to start taking it back. And one is take back your land. And what a great opportunity we had during the shutdown to do that. You know that during the shutdown when I was sheriff in 1995, Governor Symington of Arizona said, we will run the Grand Canyon without you. We don't need you, we don't want you, and we'll take it over. And why do we do all this? Hence, a double security arises to the rights of the people. The different governments will control each other. At the same time, that each will be controlled by itself. Any question, I'm going to just throw this out to you, just give me your answer. Any question as to whether or not the federal government will control itself? That's what I thought you'd say. Then we have to. We have to. It's our job as a state entity. The power of the federal government would be augmented immeasurably if it were able to impress into its service, and at no cost to itself, the police officers of the 50 states. They have no authority to do that. How do they kind of weasel in on that, elbow their way into that? Federal grants. And they start funding all these agencies. Ask Sheriff Gilbertson in Josephine County, Oregon, how he likes his federal grants. They're all gone. He's laid off 65% of his department. They're gone. He can't even hardly run the office anymore. But anyway, there's a lot of sad things about that going on. This is my favorite quote from the entire decision. This is it. One sentence in gold. My dear friends, if we had public officials that knew and understood that one line from the United States Supreme Court, but the Constitution protects us from our own best intentions. But the Constitution protects us from our own best intentions. It divides power among sovereigns and among branches of government precisely so that we may resist the temptation to concentrate power in one location as an expedient solution to the crisis of the day. End quote. Folks, what was Scalia clairvoyant? The crisis of the day? Have you heard that spouted about in Washington recently? The crisis of the day that Rahm Emanuel and Barack Obama said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Even if you have to create one like they did with Obamacare. We have the best, absolute best medicine and medical provisions and industry anywhere in the world. And all of a sudden it was the worst one and we needed Obamacare. Boy, that's really working out for us, isn't it? Yeah. Folks, we can stop Obamacare. We can stop the IRS. We can stop the abuses of the federal government, county by county, state by state. We can stop Agenda 21. We can stop all of this. We can stop the United Nations. We can stop their abuse. We can stop everything. But we have got to erect these barriers. And I'm telling you, we have the ammunition. We have the Constitution. We have the principles of freedom. They're on our side. And now, there's never been a more important time for us to stand firm in those principles. We cannot let the indoctrination and the brainwashing and the way we've done everything for the last 20, 30 years get in the way of recognizing the real enemy, what's going on to destroy our country and destroy us from within, as predicted, almost prophesied by Lincoln and our other founding fathers. We've been warned. I mean, how many times do we hear this? That he who surrenders liberty for supposed security will end up with neither and deserve neither. We hear that quote all the time. Do any of us really pay attention to it? Do we have any local officials who get it? Do we have anybody in Congress who gets it? Oh, we're going to take care of you because we had these horrible planes that ran into buildings. So of course we need TSA. I mean, we need TSA. And we need Homeland Security to take care of you. How have they done? They couldn't even catch a underwear bomber. My dear friends, if we're going to preserve liberty, we have to stand and defend it. And there's one little thing, one little word that we must have and exercise. And it comes from the Wizard of Oz. Courage. Do we have the courage to stand for the principles that America was founded upon? If we can't even defend the Second Amendment, then we're probably not going to win this. If we can't even do that, leave people alone. Secure, preserve, and defend their rights with your life. There's your answer. There's the solution. I'm asking each of you. Do you know that each one of you in this room can become a member of the CSPOA? We need you. This is where I work. That's who I work for. That's my job. I work full-time, and so does my wife, to promote the CSPOA, Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. That's where all this has gone. We've had 3 conventions, and they were absolutely miraculous. It's already working. Brad Rogers isn't the only one doing these things. Sheriff Finch down in Liberty County, Florida, just nullified an arrest of a citizen of his on a trumped-up gun charge. And the governor came in and arrested the sheriff and suspended him without pay. And we're working with Sheriff Finch to preserve his job and to return him to the position of sheriff that he was elected to do. You see, there's an attack on sheriffs all across this country now. There's moves by county commissioners to appoint sheriffs instead of allowing the people to elect their own sheriffs. The destruction that's going on across the country, folks, this is more than a full-time job. We need your help. You need to be with us. I'm asking you to join me in this holy cause of liberty. The holy cause of liberty is what Patrick Henry called it. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to answer a few of these questions. I do want to answer your questions. Okay? I told Fran this. Q&A is not my favorite time. Okay? It's not. Invariably, somebody wants me to explain to them why some dipwad cop just wrote them a ticket the other day. Yeah, or something like that. Or somebody wants to get up and give their own speech. Okay? And I know I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I'm the one that was supposed to be speaking tonight. Okay? We'll come to your meeting next time. And so there's always that. Okay, so now that's why we have them written down. And do I choose the 5? Or are you choosing the 5? Do you want me to? Okay, here's the first one. Then, what I'm going to do... You guys are too late, man. There's 2 guys that still want the questions to get in. Maybe they're going to be really great questions, or maybe we ought to get them. Okay, let me just tell you this. So this is how it's going to finish. We're going to do this for about 10 minutes. And we're already a little bit over. Now, by the way, is my ride here from Reno that's taking me to Sacramento tonight? Oh, there they are. Okay, good. I want you. Okay, they are here. I don't have to find a ride then. Good. Okay. All right, we're going to do this about 10 minutes. I'm going to try to hurry. I'll try to answer the questions right away. And then I'm going to close. I get the last word. Not you. Okay. And then I'll close and then come on over and see us at our table. Now, every one of you, all I'm asking at this point is if you go to our website. Okay? I'm also asking you to become a member in CSPOA. And let's do this together. If you just want me to do this by myself, I guarantee you, we're probably not going to win. Okay? I want all of you on board, one way or another. Get on there, email me, and let's get you on our website, and let's get you on our email list. Okay, do you think our country has reached the point where citizens will rise up to take back our country? Isn't that what we've been talking about all night? Of course we have. It is not a call to arms. It's not. Let's give this a chance to work. We still have a chance to take this back peacefully. Don't you owe that to your children and your grandchildren? Let's try this. But stand firm in all of this and rise up and take back our country? Absolutely. Yes. And I hope that I'm there holding hands with each of you. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your race is. I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care what religion you are. If you're willing to stand for liberty, you're my brother and you're my sister, and we'll stand hand in hand as we stand for American liberty. Okay. Some local left-wing bloggers are smearing you as a brother? Oh, birther. Please set the record straight. Okay? A birther. Well, I didn't really care about that issue at all, and I even said that for a number of years. I don't care. It's a non-issue. It's not going to get us anywhere. And then a Tea Party group in Arizona contacted me, and they said, we want you to investigate the birth certificate as released by the White House and Barack Obama. I said, I'm not going to do that, and you don't have enough money to pay me to do that. And they said, well, what about Joe Arpaio? You're good friends with him. Can you ask him to do it? I said, I'm not going to ask Arpaio to do that, and he's not going to do that. So they went and met with him, and Arpaio said, I'll investigate it. And Arpaio even told me he would investigate it just to get the thing settled and get those Tea Party groups off his back. They were his constituents. He wasn't going to just tell them to get lost, get lost. So he went in to do it, investigate it, to prove that the birth certificate was fine and Barack Obama was born in Hawaii. No evidence existed to support that. And the more they looked into it, the more they saw that the birth certificate was a fraud. We had the investigator, Mike Zullo, speak at our convention that we held May 31st and June 1st of this year, and it's on that DVD set over there, and you can get the DVD set off our website too. Mike Zullo is a fantastic investigator. He's an honest man. I know him. And I totally trust Sheriff Arpaio and his motivation for any of this. He wanted the truth to come out. He doesn't care if it's the president. He doesn't care if it's the dog catcher down the street. He doesn't care if it's illegal aliens. He believes in the rule of law. And if the president issued a fraudulent document, then he needs to be held accountable for it. And he's not saying where he was born, so it has nothing to do with the birther issue. But the birth certificate that was released by Mr. Obama and the White House is fraudulent, a lie, and a forgery. Our schools are brainwashing our kids. Oh, really? So, when did that happen? I will tell you that the best place to educate your kids is in your own home.
Yeah.
Totally support homeschooling, and that should be defended by every public official here. Parents have the responsibility to teach and train and educate their own children. If you want to send them to a public school, that's your problem. That's up to you. You want to do it? Hey, you got a problem. So, how can we arm them to combat the destruction of American principles? Actually, after I left the sheriff's office, I taught high school government. And I was appalled at what the school curriculum book said about the Second Amendment. It didn't say anything truthful about the Second Amendment at all. And we have to teach around what they're doing. The school's curriculum is established in Washington, D.C., and the control over that is the NEA, National Education Association. They are very liberal, they're very un-American, and that's what is resulting. Then what is happening through that brainwashing? We are literally raising a generation of liberals.